Since sometime around August, when the debacle in Afghanistan ripped away the veil and enabled many of the low IQ masses to see the real Joe Biden, not through an approved media filter, we've seen a cratering of his approval across the board on all major issues. Media may have been able to spin up until that point, but once Americans saw how incompetent he was, how he lied about everything, and most importantly left Americans and Afghan allies behind, many of whom are still there FYI, it wasn't something they could unsee, and it opened many eyes about the experience of Joe Biden. That may very well be behind the reasoning that some longtime Democrats in Congress like Senator Patrick Leahy, a Democrat from Vermont, are choosing to pack it in. Yes, we should take the time to cheer the exiting of the loathsome Leahy, who has afflicted us in the Senate since 1974. Come to think of it, that's about the same amount of time that we've had to put up with Joe Biden. It's long since time that they both go into retirement. We also just found out today that a partner in crime of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is going to retire, Representative Jackie Speer of California. So far, 15 have retired, and more are likely to follow, with announcements after the holidays. Now, on top of that, you have the new polls showing how Joe Public is viewing Democrats and Republicans. We'll go over some of the polling data right after this quick commercial break to pay some bills. Our health and patience have really been challenged, so I found a remedy that works. 100% pure ESS 60 is incredible, and now you can buy it directly from the lab. They call it a miracle molecule because people sleep better, enjoy more energy, and mental focus with a simple spoonful in the morning. You can mix it in your salad, rub it on a steak, or even dip your bread in it. ESS 60 comes in 3 delicious organic oils: olive, avocado, and MCT coconut. This groundbreaking blend supports your immune system with powerful antioxidants and antiviral properties. ESS 60 delivers more than 172 times the power of vitamin C. It's such a powerful antioxidant that it helps neutralize free radicals to assist with detoxification. Don't wait to order your ESS 60 oil directly from the lab. You're going to love it, and it's good for pets too. Get $10 off today at www.c60evo.com/conservative resurgence. That's www.c60evo.com/conservative resurgence, or click that link in the description box. Okay, so here's some data fresh out of the Washington Examiner. The latest Rasmussen Report survey, just out, said likely voters favor Republicans over Democrats by 13 points. That's 51% to 38%. Quote, the survey found that Democrats are only favored over Republicans among young voters, black people, Democrats, and liberals. Go figure. However, there is a huge 20-point gap among independents who would choose a generic Republican over a generic Democrat by a margin of 48 to 26%. While the questioning is a bit different in the new Rasmussen survey than in past years, the gap is apparently historic and even stronger because the latest survey offers the alternative of, quote, some other candidate, and, quote, not sure, said the polling outfit. The National Republican Campaign Committee had a survey that also further supported this, quote, among those economically focused voters, a generic Republican leads a generic Democrat by a 2-to-1 margin, 58 to 26%. When it comes to border security, Republicans hold an astonishing 83-point advantage, 87% Republican to 4% Democrat. So what does that really mean for the midterms? Well, Newt Gingrich, who probably knows more than most about how to successfully take back the House after the wave win he led in 1994, is making a bold prediction about the possibilities after the results of the recent elections. Gingrich believes that the Republicans could pick up 40 to 70 seats in the House and at least a 4-seat gain in the Senate. He said, quote, I believe an immediate, consistent, and effective Republican application of the lessons of 2021 could lead to a 40 to 70 seat gain in the House, at least a 4-seat gain in the Senate, and gains in governorships, state legislatures, and local offices, including school boards next year, unquote. Now, if they can do that with a lot of the right people, then they can blunt some of the damage the Biden team can do, as well as do more to hold him accountable. Indeed, it's truly vital, especially after we see the trajectory along the radical path and government seizure of power Democrats have taken over the past year. This is a very positive assessment that not only can we take back Congress, but we might do it with a historic wave that could help hold it for some time. Now, of course, that's all pending on free and fair elections, mind you. Also, before I let you go, I thought I should mention, in a move that should surprise no one, except for the amount of time it took, the Wyoming Republican Party has decided they will no longer acknowledge Representative Liz Cheney as a Republican. You see, I guess it doesn't pay back home to criticize the former and who should be President Donald J. Trump. In a 31-29 vote on Saturday held in Buffalo, Wyoming, the state's party's Central Committee slapped Cheney with her second formal rebuke over her behavior. The vote came after local GOP officials in around one-third of the state's 23 counties previously voted to boot Cheney from the party. As the Associated Press notes, Cheney was also censured in February by the Wyoming GOP Central Committee for voting to impeach Trump over the January 6th riots at the U.S. Capitol, which she described as an act of conscience in defense of the Constitution. In response to the move, Cheney's spokesman Jeremy Adler told the Associated Press via text that it was laughable for anyone to suggest Cheney isn't a conservative Republican, adding, quote, "She is bound by her oath to the Constitution." He continues, "Sadly, a portion of the Wyoming GOP leadership has abandoned that fundamental principle and instead allowed themselves to be held hostage to the lies of a dangerous and irrational man," unquote. Cheney is now facing at least 4 Republican opponents in the 2022 primary, including Cheyenne attorney Harriet Hagman, whom Trump has endorsed. Hagman, in a statement, called the latest state GOP Central Committee vote fitting, the Casper Star-Tribune reports. Quote, "Liz Cheney stopped recognizing what Wyomingites care about a long time ago when she launched her war against President Trump. She completely broke with where we are as a state," Hagman said to the Associated Press. Cheney's treason against Trump resulted in her removal from a top congressional GOP leadership position after she wouldn't stop, frankly, talking shit to get mainstream media camera time over the Donald and the 2020 election. Let's hope all these other turncoats start feeling the heat in their local elections from strong young leaders willing to remind the voters of how so many quote-unquote conservatives turned their back on the Donald and the MAGA movement when it mattered most. And on that note, I'm going to call it a day. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move! Move! Easy, easy.